Hello, hello. Welcome back. We're talking after what, about more than a month. So I thought I'll speak with you guys and just give you guys an update about what's happening with the tumor, where we are on the treatment front, because the last we spoke, we were clear about the fact that there is a tumor in my foot. The surgery, the biopsy surgery was done, and the doctors had confirmed that it was a very rare kind of low-grade malignant tumor, which meant that I had to go on anti-cancer treatment. And that treatment started with the oral drugs. So I had to take a medicine called Entrectinib, which is also known as a miracle drug in current anti-cancer medication. And it has wonderful results. So they wanted to put me on that medicine for about 6 weeks, then see if we can shrink the tumor a bit because it's around my third toe. And then they wanted to go for the surgery to remove the entire tumor out of my foot. So this was what, just to give you guys a recap of what was happening before, about a month and a half before when we found out and the diagnosis was done and the doctors came up with a treatment plan. Now, if you're watching this video for the first time and you have no idea what I'm talking about or what tumor and what anti-cancer drug, like you have no clue what's going on, I'll leave 2 links down into the description box that has part 1 and part 2. Part 1 of the video talks about how I found out that there's a tumor in my foot. It was very accidentally discovered. And I thought it was an injury, but it wasn't an injury. And then in part 2, we talk about how that tumor was diagnosed, and we found out that it was a malignant tumor, and what the doctors said that we will have as the treatment plan to get rid of that tumor. And now this is just part 3 of the same video series. I don't know if I should call it my fighting cancer journey or killing tumor journey, or I don't know what to say, but it's a journey. It's and I'm documenting the entire treatment. I'm documenting everything that's happening. So that's part 3. So if you don't know what's happening, you might want to catch up with part 1 and part 2 to understand what's happening in this video. For all those of you who've already seen part 1 and part 2, well, here we are after 1 month. Last we spoke, I was supposed to go on the 6 weeks of medication. That's called Entrectinib. And I started that medicine, and I wanted to talk about what happened in the last 4 to 5 weeks. Let me see if I can find that medicine for you. Just give me a minute. Okay, there. So I went in and grabbed the bottle just to give you guys an idea. So this is the medicine. It's called Rosely-Trac. And it comes in 200 mg hard capsules. The actual medicinal name is Entrectinib, and it is 90 hard capsules in this one box. This is how the bottle looks like. And I was supposed to have this medicine, 2 capsules every day. So my medicine was about 2 capsules like these. I don't know if you can see these right there. Yeah. So 2 of these capsules every day. And I had to take that for 6 weeks. So that whole bottle, about 90 tablets, should have finished in that time. The plan was to take this medicine, and after that, we were going to do a repeat MRI of the tumor to see if it had shrunk, how much, and then basis that they would have the doctors had to decide whether to go on with the surgery right away, or I take that medicine for another 2 to 3 months to shrink it further. Now, when the oncologist, we met with him, he told us that this medicine, this Entrectinib, as potent as it is and being considered as a miracle drug, it has a ton of side effects. But, those are bearable. Some of the side effects are reversible. As soon as you stop the medicine, they go away. So I was like, okay, what are the side effects? And the doctor told me the most common side effects are skin rashes. So you get rashes on your skin. You get acidity, constipation, diarrhea. These are stomach related. And then in some cases, you can have some heart palpitations. When he told us these symptoms being the common side effects of this medicine, I told the doctor, I have pre-existing issues in all of these areas. So I have chronic eczema, which flares up around, certain times, stressful times. Not all the time, but I do suffer from eczema. I do have IBS issues or GERD issues. So, if I'm under stress or, there's some trigger, food trigger or anything, I do get IBS. So I already have gut issues. And on top of that, I also have slight bit of heart palpitations issue, which is more of like a hormonal thing. Just around my period, I do get heart palpitations. So all of the things that you're telling me, I kind of experience them anyways. Do you think using this medicine is going to maybe exasperate the situation or anything? And he said, no, these are not that bad and they don't show up in every patient. And, we have ways to manage and, we will be monitoring your blood and everything every 2 weeks. And so we will do preliminary tests as well. And they did baseline tests. They did my renal, they did my blood, my ECG, full blood count, liver test. Everything was perfectly normal, as healthy as a person can be. And so I was ready to go on the treatment. And I started taking this medicine, 2 tablets every day. And the first day I took the tablet, I got really dizzy and very drowsy and very sleepy. And I'm like, oh God, am I going to be like this on this medication for the next 6 weeks? I hope not. And the next day was better. Next day, it wasn't so bad. Like I took the medicine. I wasn't dizzy all the time, but I was still like, lethargic and slow. And then I started noticing a change in my taste. I could not taste food properly. It was very metallic taste in my mouth at all times. And the food just tasted bland. Like there was just no taste to the food that I would eat. And then I started noticing that, I'm starting to lose words. Like that's around day 3 or day 4 that I'm talking to my helper and I'm telling her, did you take that thing out? And she's like, what thing? And I'm like, that, and she's like, what are you saying? And I said, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And then I started noticing that it became increasingly more like I could not express myself. I could not talk properly. I could not comprehend properly. And that started freaking me out. And day 6 was amazing. Day 6, I got a severe rash on the side of my neck and my chest. It was so bad, like it was all red. And I was like, oh, so the doctor mentioned the skin rash. So here's the skin rash on day 6. Okay, it's something he said, so I have to deal with it. Then it started appearing on the sides of my body, on the sides of my legs. And it was so itchy and red. It was like my skin was on fire. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I'm fighting cancer. This medicine is going to help me get to my goal. So I need to just deal with it. I have to deal with this pain. And so there were some creams I had to apply, moisturizer and stuff, and basically suck it up and just take it in. And I took it like as bravely as I could. I think around day 8-ish, the rashes started to become lighter, but the brain fog that I had, the confusion I had, the dizziness and disorientation, like I was just like in a zombie state, I don't know how to express it properly, but I was in a complete zombie state. I would not be able to talk to you properly. I'll be looking at you, I'll be listening to you, and I would just not be able to register half of the things. And this thing became so severe that I got really scared driving. And I have to drive my kids to school every day and then pick them up. And I was just afraid to be, behind the wheel because I was like, what if I, end up having an accident because my reflexes are so slow. Meanwhile, constipation came in its full glory, and that was also terrible. And I eat very healthy, and I've been eating very healthy. I include a lot of fiber, a lot of water, a lot of fluids. Nothing was helping. Nothing. I would not go to the toilet for like 3 days, and that was just becoming like a normal thing. And I think it was around 9th day or 10th day when I started feeling that there's something wrong with my breathing and my heart. So we wear these watches, right? These are the Garmin watches. So we monitor our sleep, we monitor our heart rate, we monitor, our physical activity, our HRV. If you know these stats and if you follow these, you would now understand what I'm talking about. All of my stats went downhill. So except for my heart rate went shooting up. So if you're very athletic and you're very active, physically very active, and you're athletic, your heart rate tends to be on a lower side, resting heart rate. My resting heart rate used to be around 58 to 62 in a normal circumstances. And if I'm walking around doing some activities, it'll be around 80s. But when I was on this medication, my resting heart rate, when I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting or laying down, would be like 90, 95. And then it would give me alerts that, I have abnormal heart rhythm happening. And I was like, what is happening? I would walk from the sofa to the toilet or to the kitchen. My heart rate would go 115, 120, and I'd start feeling like lightheaded and, extremely breathless. And that was alarming for me because I could tell something was off. Something's off. And I kept telling us, I was like, I don't know. I feel like my heart is not okay. I am not feeling good. HRV, which is usually in my 60s and like, even if it's not really good in 50s, was down to 23, 24. My sleep score was from 80s down to 20 and 30. So everything was messed up. Everything was messing up. And I was just taking it in. At 2 weeks, I went and I saw the doctor. I told him I'm having these, and then there's, one very important side effect that I started feeling was numbness in my entire face and the pins and needle feeling all over. So I explained it to him that, when I splash water on my face, like washing it, I feel like my whole face is on fire. And then even when I, touch my face like this and I feel it, it feels all numb. Like I feel like touching it would feel just numb. Like there's nothing here. I don't know what's happening. So my skin feels like it's on fire or it feels like numb. And he said, oh yeah, this is all normal. These are all side effects of this medicine. But if you feel unwell, then come to the ER. And I'm like, I don't know what, if this is not unwell, then what is unwell, right? I didn't have a standard to, compare to what is unwell for me and to what extent I have to take these side effects and where do I have to stop and where do I have to draw a line and say I have to go to the hospital. And so I was just like, going through and, pushing through. And I was like, no, I have to, because the goal is much bigger. I have to get better. So I'm going to go through all of these symptoms, whatever it is, I'm going to go through them, right? And it's it's temporary. So it's okay. Let's just go through them. And this went on until day 17. Day 18, I woke up knowing that there's something wrong. And my husband was traveling. I was all alone with kids at home. And I messaged him. The first thing I messaged him, because I did not have the energy to get out of the bed. After 9 hours of sleep, I did not have the energy to step out of the bed, get my children ready for school. And I was like, something's off. Today is not a good day. I don't feel good. And he messaged me, he said, you're going to monitor yourself, message the doctor, and I think you should go to the ER. I said, okay, let me handle the kids first, and then we deal with it. I don't know how I dragged myself out of the bed. I got the kids ready, dropped them to school. Actually, I said, I'm not going to drop them to school. So my helper dropped them on bus. They were sent. And then I kept monitoring myself. My heart rate was off. Everything was off. I messaged the doctor. They said, maybe you should just go to the ER. We'll do some tests. And I have no idea how I reached to the ER because I almost collapsed when I reached to the ER, and they just took me to the ICU. And there they did some tests and they found out that what I was having was a very severe reaction to this medicine. And it was so severe that it was directly damaging my heart and my liver. So my heart enzyme, there's an enzyme called troponin I, which is released into your blood when your heart muscle is getting severely damaged. That troponin I levels in your blood when you're otherwise okay should be below 9. My levels were at 136. So everybody was like in panic mode and trying to figure out what's wrong and what's going on. And obviously they knew that I'm on this medicine. This is an anti-cancer medicine. It has a lot of side effects. So then I was just admitted into the hospital. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you would have seen those stories from the hospital where I talked about, like, I was admitted because of a side effect to the medicine. The medicine was stopped, and they told me that the medicine, in very, very rare cases, what happens is that you get a very severe reaction where your entire body comes under attack, and the medicine just doesn't sit well with you. And that's what happened. So the medicine, no matter how good it is, it went my body into a complete systemic shock. Like, my entire body went into a complete shock where my brain was getting affected, my liver was getting affected, my heart was getting affected, my breathing was getting affected. I had severe gut issues. Like, everything that could have gone wrong in my body went wrong because of this medicine. And they had to stop and they had to manage. And that was tough 2 weeks because my kids didn't see me for 3 days. And in the morning, I had said goodbye to them. And then in the evening, when they came back home, their mom wasn't there. And then they didn't see her for another 3 days. And it was also the time when I was going to have my 40th birthday. So I asked the nurses if I could be at home with my children, if they could discharge me so I could be with my children on my 40th birthday, because they're very excited. It's their mom's birthday. So they discharged me and we came back home. And that's when we also told our children what was happening, because they had no idea. They've always seen their mom very happy, very strong, very active. And all of a sudden their mom's just been sick all the time. And then suddenly she just disappears and she's in hospital and they have no idea. All they know is that she had a tumor, but she was getting treated for it. But, then we explained everything to them. And they were super amazing in understanding what was happening. And so here we are. The medicine was stopped at 18th day. As soon as the medicine was stopped, because I had been taking very good care of myself, and otherwise I was a healthy person, I had no preconditions, I bounced back very quickly. So all my levels, I think, after 10 days of stopping the medication, everything was back to normal. The enzyme, which had reached to 136, had gone back to -4, below 4, so that was good. Liver enzymes had all come back down. Brain fog and everything went away. The gut issues all went away. The skin rashes cleared away. And I started, all the other normal activities that I was doing. I started going back to the gym. My energy came back. So if you just look at me now, because my foot has also healed from the biopsy surgery, you cannot even tell there's something wrong with me, apart from that cancerous tumor that is inside my foot. I'm otherwise a healthy person. And I'm trying to live as normally as I can. But at this point, where we are is that we can't have this medicine, for sure. The doctors had told us, this medicine I cannot have. We are going to have another repeat MRI to see where the tumor is right now, if it has increased in size, decreased in size, same size. And then they will decide whether to go for surgery, or there's another medicine of the same family called Entrectinib, which has supposedly less side effects. So we're going to see if that suits me, but then it's a huge risk again that we'll have to take. If we don't take that risk, then I might lose my third toe in the foot during the surgery. So here we are, guys. That's the update on the tumor and on where we are. The medicine we're not having, this Rozlytrek we're not having. It is an amazing medicine, but it just did not work for me. And now what will happen? Am I going to go for a surgery to remove this, or we're going to try the other medicine? Wait for the next episode to find out more. We'll know more as well. My appointment with the doctor is next week. So I'm looking forward to talk to the surgeon, talk to the oncologist as well. And as soon as we have the new plan, I'll let you know. In the meanwhile, if you've had any experiences with anti-cancer drugs, or you had some kinds of side effects, if you have any experience to share, do share with me. And if you know somebody who is on anti-cancer drugs and you might want to, or about to start these kind of medicines, do share this video with them. It might be helpful for them to understand like what kind of side effects they can expect, and at what point they should really consider talking to their doctor and getting themselves checked. Because I got really lucky going to the ER at the right time. If I had delayed any longer, God knows what would have happened. So that's it for now. I'll see you on the next video, and keep praying. I know all of you are supporting, and there's so many prayers and so many messages coming in. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to each one of you. And just know that on my end, I'm staying strong, staying positive, and I am doing whatever I have to do to get better. We'll beat this thing. Take care. Bye-bye.